I'm Masiga Shegu Sembatia to bring you this morning's news update live here on channel 44. Today is the 26th of January 2023. It is the National NRM Day. It's a national public holiday, and we thank you for staying tuned to channel 44. We'll start with what's happening around us here in Uganda. They bring you over 900 schools operating illegally. Vice attributed to inadequate monitoring enforcement. It's all in today's New Vision. Also, the New Vision today brings you Energy Minister who was commissioning the Namamve Luzira power line. Honorable Ruth Nankabira is seen arriving officially to commission the Namamve Luzira 132 kV power transmission line at Namamve substation. The line will supply stable and sufficient electricity to Namamve and Luzira industrial sites. Details are in today's New Vision. And also, government loses 33 billion shillings in irregular salary payments. Page 7 has the details. On education, Makerere hit by high student dropout rate in today's New Vision. And the New Vision brings you 84-page Liberation Day special inside. Get yourself a copy and see the journey of NRM from 1986 to the current situation now. It's been 37 years of NRM's victory. They also bring you a story on NSSF. A probe team named Boss Speaks Out. Nearer to register learners at Education Expo. That is happening tomorrow. And over 120 tenders, the opportunities in AIDS Information Center, East African COP, UNHCR, UNBS, and very many others. Get yourself a copy and see where you can get yourself a job opportunity. Moving on to the Daily Monitor, Kasese on the spot over same-sex law. They bring you what the agenda is. Parliament says a local non-government organization is behind the bylaw that Kasese Municipal Council is accused of attempting to pass. Authorities in the Rwenzururu sub-region maintain that they are innocent and did not have such intentions. It's on page 4, page 5 of today's Daily Monitor. And also they bring you Christians that have made a pilgrimage to Chenjejo. Christian faithful flock to Chenjejo Martyrs site. Thousands of pilgrims from different parts of the country have started arriving at Katosa Parish in Chenjejo district for the annual pilgrimage on Friday in memory of Adolphe Ludigo Tibeyaliwa, a martyr. The parish has 22 natural rocks named after the 22 Catholic Uganda martyrs. Details are on in today's Daily Monitor. And also in other news, Parliament names 7 members, a 7-member team to probe NSSF. Cabinet yet to decide on school fees. Remember, it's just 1.5 weeks or two to schools opening, and the cabinet is yet to decide on school fees, whether to increase or reduce. It's in today's Daily Monitor on page 7. The Daily Monitor brings you 37 years of NRM's journey. They have a compilation inside the papers today. And Makerere moves to trim undergraduate admissions from 2024. World Food Programme stops free food to 1.3 million refugees, and shooting of plane an act of war, according to the DRC. These stories and more in today's Daily Monitor. Well, because of time, allow me to take you straight into our international news update. We have it loaded especially for you. We'll start with what's happening in our region. I'll now be joined by Livingstone Kawesi for sign language interpretation and translation. In the DRC, they have declared Rwanda's shooting of one of its fighter jets an act of war. amid mounting tensions. Rwanda's government said it took defensive measures against a plane that had violated its airspace, a claim denied by DRC Congo. Although the plane landed safely, this is a major escalation following months of conflict in the DRC, which has forced 400,000 people from their homes. DRC, the US and UN experts accuse Rwanda of backing the M23 rebel group. Rwanda has denied this and blames the Congolese government for the unrest in mineral-rich eastern DRC. In the 1990s, Rwanda twice sent troops into its much larger neighbor, sparking a huge conflict involving at least 9 countries that led to the death of millions of people. In Burkina Faso, France has agreed to a request from Burkina Faso's military leaders to withdraw all its troops from the country. Burkina Faso, which is currently battling a jihadist insurgency, says it wants to defend itself. There are currently 400 French special forces in Burkina Faso who have just 1 month to leave. Last year, France also left neighboring Mali, where its troops had spent 8 years fighting Islamist militants. France has kept close military ties with many of its former colonies in West Africa and has been helping several of them fight jihadists who are active across the region under the now terminated Operation Barkhane. In the United States, the U.S. will send 31 powerful battle tanks to Ukraine, joining Germany in sending the vehicles to support the fight against Russia's invasion. The decision to deliver the M1 Abraham tanks was announced just hours after Germany said it would send 14 of its Leopard 2 tanks to the battlefield. Berlin also cleared the way for other European countries to send German-made tanks from their own stocks. Ukraine has lobbied Western allies to send the military equipment for 1 month. It hailed the twin announcements as a turning point that would allow its military to regain momentum and take back occupied territory almost a year after Moscow invaded. It also said that tanks could help deter a potential Russian offensive in the spring. Still about Ukraine, the historic center of the Ukrainian port city of Odessa has been designated as an endangered World Heritage Site by the United Nations Cultural Agency despite Russia's opposition. UNESCO said its decision recognized the outstanding universal value of its site, but Russia criticized the move, saying it was politically motivated. Known as the Pearl of the Black Sea, Odessa has been bombed several times since Russia invaded Ukraine. Last year, residents rushed to protect the city's monuments and buildings by covering them in sandbags. In the United States, ex-President Donald Trump will be allowed back to Facebook and Instagram after Meta announced it would be ending its 2-year suspension of his accounts. The suspension will end in the coming weeks, according to the social media giant. In a statement, Nick Clegg, Meta's president of global affairs, said the public should be able to hear what their politicians are saying. The then U.S. president was indefinitely suspended from Facebook and Instagram after the Capitol riot in 2021. The firm had taken action following Mr. Trump's praise for people engaged in violence at the Capitol. That is according to Mr. Clegg. In the Middle East, Taliban ministers have told a senior UN official they plan to draw up new guidelines to allow Afghan women to work in the same humanitarian operations. Martin Griffiths told the press he had received encouraging responses from a wide range of Taliban ministers during talks in Kabul, even if last month's edict banning Afghan women working for NGOs is not reversed. With Afghan women playing a crucial role in delivering aid, there is a concern the ban is endangering urgent life-saving humanitarian operations in the country. The aid arithmetic is staggering, and this year's agencies will try to reach 28 million Afghans, more than half the population, including 6 million who are, according to Mr. Griffiths, knocking on famine's door. In Spain, one person has died and at least one other injured after a man wielding a machete carried out attacks at two churches in South Spain. The alleged attacker then went to a second church where a verger was stabbed to death. The suspect was disarmed and arrested shortly afterwards. A statement by the Ministry of the Interior said just after 19 local time last evening, a man entered the Church of San Isidro in Algeciras, where, armed with a machete, he attacked the priest, leaving him seriously wounded. Still in Spain, Spanish police have arrested a 74-year-old man on suspicion of sending letter bombs to high-profile targets, including the country's prime minister. The man was reportedly taken into custody in the north of Spain and is due to appear in court later this week. In total, 6 bombs were sent to addresses across Spain, including Prime Minister Pedro Sanchez's official residence and the U.S. and Ukrainian embassies. Most were defused, but an Ukrainian embassy worker was slightly injured. Letter bombs were also sent to the Ministry of Defense, an Air Force base and a weapons manufacturer, all linked to Spain's support for Ukraine in its defense against Russia's aggression. And in America, millions of Americans remain under a winter storm watch as a powerful winter storm pushes northeast, leaving heavy snow, flash floods, and severe thunderstorms in its wake. The National Weather Service issued multiple tornado warnings yesterday as the storm moved across the northwest Florida and southern Georgia. It comes a day after a tornado ripped through Texas, causing several severe destruction along its route. There have been no reported deaths. Dayton, Ohio, broke a 108-year-old record for snowfall after recording 5 inches of snow on Wednesday, according to the National Weather. The previous record of 4.9 inches was set in 1915. And finally, in the world of sports, Russian and Belarusian athletes could be free to compete as neutrals in the 2024 Olympics after the International Olympic Committee said it will explore a pathway for their participation. The IOC called on federations to exclude athletes from the countries following Russia's invasion of Ukraine. Well, that brings us to the end of this morning's news update. Thank you for watching Channel 44. Thank you for staying tuned. Well, I remind you that today is a public holiday and Pastor Robert Kayanja is inviting all of us to come and experience a different touch of God this evening. Come as early as 6 p.m. and that is when he will be starting with dream interpretation. There is always deliverance sessions and healing of the sick. So come ready to experience a different move of God this time round. Otherwise, the Pastors Now program is up next. Stay tuned and be blessed with great testimonies that have happened to people here at the Miracle Center Cathedral. Enjoy your morning.